Hello, my name is Raila Andrad, and today we will be learning about Aboriginal Australian foods. Australia is one of the most ancient cultures in the world, tracing back to 65,000 years ago. They were colonized by the British in 1785, leading to the destruction of its people and its culture. So in this video, I'll be speaking about Aboriginal foods before and after colonization. Before colonization, the Aboriginals depended on their environment for food. They were hunter-gatherers, but not entirely. Historical records also exhibit agriculture and aquaculture. They managed the land around them through distribution of grass and trees, which guaranteed the availability of resources, hence depending not on chance but predictability. Across the country, one can find paintings drawn by ancient Aboriginals which depict dreamtime and life of Aboriginals 50,000 years ago. Like in the Kakadu National Park, one can find images of the proteins consumed by ancient Aborigines, which include kangaroo, barramundi, long-necked tortoises, wallabies, crocodiles, emus, and stingrays. They also consumed lizards, grubs, and moths. Native plant food consumed include quandong, kuchera, lemon myrtle, which was also used as a spice, finger lime, kakadu plum, buchanea oboveta, a green plum, purple native yams, and virginal green. The women also collected honey and various herbs. The above foods were referred to as bush tuck or bush foods, which are foods native to Australia and used for sustenance by the Aborigines. The Aborigines used different methods to acquire bush foods, like for example, bushfires. They were used to clear lands for finer grass to flourish and attract animals. They were also used to clear lands to forage underground animals like lizards. Spears. Bark of Rugenbilla plants were used to form spears attached with stingray stings to hunt fish. Boomerang. It was designed by the Aborigines using wood and was used to hunt animals through injury. It could reach up to 175 yards. The Aborigines consumed native plants directly, whereas meats and fish were cooked in fire pits which would act as ovens. The foods were eaten rare rather than fully cooked. Extra meat was either smoked and preserved or stored in kangaroo skins. Grubs and worms were consumed in paste form like hummus. Other than depending on the wild, they also practiced agriculture, records of which can be found in Thomas Mitchell's journal, where he states that heaps of reeds that he saw were actually called kuli by the natives, and the seeds were pounded to make bread. A 30,000-year-old grindstone was also found in Currie Springs, Australia, which makes Aborigines the oldest bakers in the world. The Aborigines domesticated some of the plants, helping them thrive in Australia's harsh climate, like the bush tomato, which depends on humans for its survival and spread. Thomas Mitchell also witnessed fish traps on the rivers of Brewarrina, which confirm practice of aquaculture by the Aborigines, as they were some of the oldest man-made structures on Earth, tracing back to 40,000 years ago. They were strategically placed to trap fish. And lastly, the native Australians ensured accessibility to water by channeling floods and rain waters into depressions called holding ponds. After colonization, the first white people who visited Australia found that it lacked Western foods and introduced domesticated animals and plants, which changed Australia's ecosystem entirely. The newly arrived cow and sheep overchewed the grass and stomped on the lands, destroying its landscape. Agriculture was produced on a large scale, resulting in traditional bush foods to be severely affected, reducing its availability to the Aborigines, like for example the emus. But since the 1970s, the non-Aboriginals recognized the high levels of nutrition obtained from bush foods and have expanded enormously the bush food industry to commercial cultivation of crops and availability of kangaroo meat throughout the country. But these industries benefit the non-Aboriginals who control 80% of the industries. At present, Aboriginals living in remote Australia who practice their old lifestyle of living still depend on bush food for survival, whereas Aboriginals living in the more colonized areas consume more of domesticated foods and unhealthy Western foods and beverages, which has led to 1 in 5 people suffering from type 2 diabetes and 3 in 10 people suffering from chronic kidney diseases, greatly affecting Aboriginal immunity after colonization. Thank you for watching.